We will call this meeting of the village board to order. We start with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Dawn, please take the roll.
Lyssel.
Here.
Jim Falke.
Here.
Jeremiah Kiecker.
Here.
John Kohl.
Here.
Rick Coenen.
Here.
Bobbi Marks. Here. Dan Sambs.
Here. Trustees have received 3 sets of minutes. November 11th, the public budget hearing, November 11th, the regular board meeting, and then the special board meeting on November 24th.
You want a motion to pass each individual one or all together?
I think we can do them all together.
I make a motion that we pass all the minutes from the separate board meetings as presented.
Second it.
Motion by Mr. Koenen, seconded by Mr. Kiecker to approve the 3 sets of minutes, November 11th, and November 24th. Those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Public comments. Police report. For the month of November 2014, there were a total of 8 complaints. Assist other departments 6 times, 4 in the township of Fremont. A 911 call, 1 miscellaneous call, and the squad car was driven 1,629 miles. Current mileage is 52,000. There were 21 shift deployments, 167 hours of deployment, 171 hours worked. Enforcement action, 7 instances here. Those 7 were all verbal warnings. Traffic crashes, there was 1 with property damage in the month, bringing the total up to 3 for the year. Radar enforcement, 40 minutes by the Village Hall, 25 minutes by the Village Hall, 3 hours and 5 minutes on Tustin Road, 2 hours 25 minutes on Tustin Road, 2 hours and 40 minutes on Tustin Road. The Falke County Sheriff's Department handled 3 calls in the month, 1 alarm, 1 domestic abuse, and 1 welfare check. The department did not receive any noise complaints from our liquor license established for the month. Respectfully submitted, Jean Goody. Thank you, Jean. All right, we move to the committee reports. We start with Bobbi, the library report.
The library's report for the month of November, there were 7 programs with 29 children for the drop-in program, 496 cards scanned, 1,095 patrons in the library. There was an average of 14 devices a day using the library's wireless and 248 sessions on the public computer. Susan attended the WLA convention November 5th to the 7th. The adult book club met on Tuesday the 11th. They discussed Us to Make Your Daughter book. They're going to meet again on Monday, January 12th at 1 o'clock. Susan and Ann read to the Fremont Elementary School on Friday the 14th for National Young Readers Week. They had their fundraiser on the 22nd from 9 to 3 with breakfast starting at 8. They had 338 baskets, and the money earned will be used for discovery boxes for the children, storytime lab, large print collection, e-readers of books, a new public computer, and further expansion of the library. On Wednesday the 17th at noon, they're going to have cookies and carols. It's the McGinnis family that will be singing, and everyone is invited. And the library will be closed December 24th to the 27th, and also the 31st and the 1st of January. And that's all I have.
So they must have had a pretty successful basket sale. They had, made approximately 338 baskets, and they didn't have many left. Did they have?
They had maybe about not 90 some left, but they sold a lot of them in the 2 weeks after,
Since then.
so, yeah, they've, I think all in all, they probably will come out with about, making about $10,000. I think the, with the food, the breakfast, the lunch, I think they made like about $900. Their bake sale made about $650, and the baskets made the rest. But it'll be about $10,000 when they get it all in.
Many donations from businesses and library patrons, and we'd like to thank all the participants, and I suppose all the people who purchased. Okay. Is that it then?
Yep.
Okay, Jeremy, Jim, anything from utility?
I have some stuff for utility. First of all, I see on the new businesses, approval of the paid clean water fund out early. Should we talk about that then, or should I talk about that now?
We can, let's do it then, I think.
Okay. Well then, we discussed sewer rates. We had a meeting earlier, and we discussed we have two people that we think are in the wrong categories. Nancy's Gift Shop being one. They're in Class 1, and we would like to reduce them to Class 1A because of the type of business, the type of usage we think she has. We think she's Class 2 high. So at this time, I'd like to make a motion to move Nancy's Gift Shop from Class 1 to Class 1A.
What's the difference in them?
She would be going from $220 to $175.
Okay.
I'll second it.
Motion by Mr. Falke, seconded by Mr. Kohl to change the classification of Nancy's Gift Shop from Class 1 to Class 1A.
The next,
The second.
oh, I'm sorry.
We have a motion, we probably ought to vote on that motion. Okay.
I'm sorry.
All right, any discussion on that? We have a motion and a second. Those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? All right, motion carried.
Sorry about that. The next thing I want to discuss is St. Paul Lutheran Church with the daycare center is in Class 4, and that's $330. And I'd like to make a motion to move them to Class 5, which will be $352.
What's the difference in those classes? I mean,
Money-wise?
no, what is a Class 4?
It's just an educated guess where we can put each business, so to speak.
I mean, it doesn't
They
have
would-
anything to do with how many restrooms they have or
It
anything like
does
that?
not. They would be in a class now with the bus stop, the mobile mart. Look what assets is in there.
That's the new one?
That's the new one for
What was-
$352.
And who was in the old one?
They were the only ones in Class 4.
Oh, okay.
All right. I would entertain a motion then to change the class for St. Paul's Lutheran from Class 4 to Class 5.
Yep, I made a motion to,
All right, Mr. Falke made the motion. Was there a second?
I'll second it.
Mr. Kiecker. Any discussion?
How much does that change them?
it changes them
$22.
$22.
88. But if we lower the rates, it'll be different, so.
Yep.
They'll actually.
He's coming next.
Yeah.
Okay. Any further discussion? Those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
The third thing I would like to bring up kind of goes with the paying off on that loan, so
Maybe we better go ahead then and And go to that new business item number 1 first.
That's what I was
Okay,
wondering.
good,
because
you're
it's
right.
gonna be kinda
Good
confusing.
idea.
Okay, then to switch that up, we're gonna discuss, we discussed paying off the Clean Water Fund loan. The village has the money to pay that off. We'd like to pay it off this year yet to save the interest on that loan. We still have a decent amount in the savings, so we're fine in all aspects. I think the board looked at it extensively. Dan had some input, and I think we're comfortable with paying that off, so I would like to make a motion to pay that off, the Clean Water Fund loan off in December yet.
I'll second that.
All right, motion by Mr. Falke, seconded by Mr. Van Lyssel, to pay off the balance of the Clean Water Fund, which I believe we have a dollar figure for, which we ought to add to the motion. What is that number, 240?
$248,399.29.
And that is providing we do that by electronic transfer tomorrow. So that is certainly the intention there. We also discussed this with the auditor, and he did not see any, he didn't think it was a bad idea or anything like that, so thought it'd be a good idea to pay it off. I think we could probably save around $8,000 interest by paying it off at this point in time. So, anyway, we have the motion. Is there further discussion? All right, all in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? All right. Then Dawn has the paper all typed up, which we can sign then at the bank, and then the transfer can be made tomorrow. All right, very good. Go ahead, Jim.
I have one more thing, unless you're going to add
No.
something. And we also discussed, by doing this, we're in a comfortable situation with our finances and thing for the sewer, and I think at this time it would be, I'd like to recommend we reduce the rates by 15%. I think there again, we think we're comfortable in that status. I think that's fine. I would like not to reduce them too much and have backlash and have to bring them up 2 years down the road if we do need to change something at the sewage treatment plant, something on that aspect. So I'd like to make a motion to reduce the sewer rates across the board at 15%.
I'll second it.
Motion by Mr. Falke, seconded by Mr. Kohl, to reduce the sewer rates across the board 15%.
I should have added in there, but we'll start the first quarter of 2015.
Yeah. Beginning the first quarter of 2015. Is that okay with you, Mr. Kohl? Okay.
I'll second it.
All right. All right, motion by Mr. Falke, second by Mr. Kohl, to reduce the sewer rates by 15% across the board, beginning with the first quarter of 2015. Any discussion? Those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. All right.
I believe I am done. The plant's running smoothly, all that stuff. The water levels are all in check, so, yeah. I'm done.
Yeah, plant's running well. Flows have been down. The plant right now is operating at about 50% of its capacity, but it's been dry too, which makes a difference. So everything is well out there. Okay, Steve, Park and Beach.
You forgot your mind.
Oh, Jeremiah, I'm sorry. He's got work to do. He's been working.
Yeah.
I skipped him. Sorry about that. Go ahead.
Well, we were talking about it before about Ordinance 14.4 regarding the boat launch fees. The daily fee would be increased by $1, plus $1 per axle would stay the same. The annual fee would be $50. changing the 40810B number 3 to, so that the village residents can no longer receive it free, but they could receive one at the cost of $25. And that's all right. Yeah. Questions, or you want me to expound on it?
I think it's pretty self-explanatory.
So too. So, I'd like to make a motion to amend ordinance 14-4, section 40810B.
I'll second it.
All right, motion by Mr. Kiecker, seconded by Ms. Marks to amend ordinance 14-4, section 408-10B, as discussed and as written here, raising the boat rent fees.
We wanna send something out to folks who are real estate, just to let them know ahead of time.
Be a good
That's
idea.
coming, versus them coming in and taking it on and done.
Nobody would come in before March, is it?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
The only thing I would add to that, it would be taken out of the boat launch fee, would be having very new, very nice signs we had up at the launches. So we have to replace those too. And have those signs ready by April 1st, or maybe sooner.
Well, okay, that's a procedural thing, but doesn't have to be part of the motion, I don't think. That's a good point, though, a good point. The signs need to be changed ASAP. All right, so we have a motion in front of the board to approve this rate change here, and a second. Any further discussion? Those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed? Motion carried.
All right, and the second thing is ordinance 14-5 regarding the park pavilion rental fee. I believe it used to be $10 you could use it for Wolf River Crossings Park and the Partridge Lake Park. Be reserved for a reasonable time on a first come, first served basis. You used to be able to just reserve it ahead of time for $10. We're going to change that, so we'll just up it to $25 for the Wolf River Crossings Park, but not the Partridge Lake or the beach. That's just first come, first served. So you won't be able to reserve that.
So that is for residents and non.
Residents and non-residents, correct. So I'd make a motion to amend ordinance 14-5, section 408-7B regarding the park pavilion rental fee.
I'll second that.
All right, we have a motion by Mr. Kiecker, seconded by Mr. Van Lyssel, to amend ordinance 14-5, section 408-7B, which raises the fee for the Wolf River Crossing Park. Any discussion?
What are we gonna do about non-profit groups, like the church, so on and so forth? I don't wanna ask.
Well, is the amphitheater considered part of the Wolf River Crossing Park, or is that just the shelter?
Shelter, I think.
This
is all right.
is only for the pavilion.
Hope Church does get the pavilion for their fall one.
I think they do it 2 times a year, don't they?
They only use the bandstand the first time, then the second time they use both.
Well, I think they ought to pay it
Yeah,
to guarantee that they're going to get it.
Yeah.
So you wanna take the chance of not getting it, they can
Yeah.
show up for it.
Yeah. It's a reservation fee is what it is, not necessarily a use fee.
Right.
And it goes right along with charging the webfooters for boat rank fees too, boat rank permits.
All right, any further discussion? Okay, we have a motion by Mr. Kiefer, seconded by Mr. Van Lyssel. All those in favor? Right. Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. All right. Is that it then, Jeremy?
That's it for that.
Okay, very good. All right, Steve, Park and Beach.
I don't have anything, but like Rick said, I can start working on the boat ramp signs in the next few months.
All right. Good.
Just order.
Just to add one to that, I don't know, do we wanna put something over here that says about, boat ramp parking?
Oh, in this lot here?
In this lot here.
That would be nice.
We could while we're getting all the other ones.
Yeah.
Just
do it all
seems
together.
like people don't really realize they can park there.
Yeah. What do I order, what do we normally order signs from?
Oh,
We get them from the county.
street signs, or we do something up with fast signs.
Yeah, come to
But
fast signs or some stuff.
Actually, I
too.
have two for myself.
I
So-
think I got
They
some.
do a really nice sign.
Village, two fast signs too.
Okay. I'll just talk about it.
I think, go ahead, take care of it, use your discretion as what you need, and go ahead and get it done.
They just
That'll-
they'll bill direct to the village too, so.
Oh, okay. Sounds good.
All right. Rick, streets.
You know what, roads are all icy, hopefully the weather this week will melt some of it off. I did talk to Ken, on a couple problem areas, like down Packer Street, and just told him to keep an eye out for icy spots, and if they're really icy, just to spread a little bit of sand there, but hopefully the weather will help us out a little bit this week, melt some of that. That's it, other than that.
On the agenda, we had something here about village option to implement Wisconsin Act 377, dealing with farm machinery. We have a communication from the county, and it deals with farm machinery. And I can just look at this quickly here. Well, Falke County formed a work group of local government officials that have intimate knowledge of farming operations to study the new law and develop recommendations for implementation. After several long and difficult meetings, the work group is ready to share their results. And anyway, the county group, the committee, recommend what they call Action F. And it says the action is, there's no special action taken, but it, the county is asking that we all agree to work under the same set of rules, is what it amounts to. And by approving this action F here, option F, that would be putting us on the same page as everybody else. Option F be the chosen option for implementation. This option would be simple to administer, no resolution to act on, and somewhat easier to issue permits. And the county would be doing the permits on that. So anyway, they're asking us to act on Wisconsin, Act 377 at your December meeting, and notify the Falke County Department and the Wisconsin Department of Transportation.
I don't understand.
So what is option F? I mean, what is?
Well,
It's like no special action taken, 23K to 92K, table governs IOH. You can understand all that.
It almost sounded
Is
to
that like
me
an
like
axle
whatever is in
limit
the
of
act
92,000 pounds or
is
something
what's
like that?
enforced, where if you have one of the other options says the town will enforce this part, but not this part, or that's how I took it.
So we're just accepting what the county is accepting?
they're recommending that we all do the same thing so that so that they have uniformity throughout the county. And, you know,
Is it like, does it have like weight limits on the roads or something? I don't know.
Probably
Yeah.
wait limits
Yeah,
on the
that's
roads in the
what that-
springtime.
23,000 and
Okay.
92,000.
23,000 per axle probably, and
Yeah.
92,000 total. And then you must apply for a permit to exceed those.
But they're gonna take care of that, so we
Yeah.
don't have to worry about it.
Yeah.
Fine. Motion would let the county do everything.
Exactly.
We really don't have any load limits on our roads.
No, and all I really do is you farm, equipment is maybe 8.
Well, that's not our highway
Yeah.
either.
No, no, is
The
it?
place where we do have an issue though is West Street, going south, belt past, like say, big milk trucks going off the highway down toward Keister's and that way, on the farm.
Okay.
And that's the only place where there's heavy equipment traveling on village streets, unless there's a big construction project in town here. And
Mhm.
usually, before a building permit is issued, I think it's specified that any damage that's done to any streets is gonna be covered by the people bringing the heavy equipment, so. All right. I would make a motion that we, accept or adopt option F of Act 377, dealing with implements of husbandry law.
I'll second.
All right. I made the motion, Jeremiah seconded it, and to approve option F of Act 377. All right. Those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, motion carried. All right, we got that taken care of. It's one of those things that doesn't really have a lot of impact, but if they want to have uniformity and they want to say that everybody's on the same page, we gotta do it. All right,
I don't know, is this under parks or beach or streets, but do we get any quote for this ramp yet?
No,
That
we didn't
yours?
get nothing, yeah, we didn't get nothing else, we're still waiting for
Oh,
Right.
oh, okay. Is he gonna get on it?
You should have it to us already, but yeah, you'll send, in the next couple of weeks here, or we should be able to get the quote. All waiting on.
Okay.
all right, Mr. Kohl, employee and purchasing.
Just a few things. We got together tonight before the meeting and reviewed the employee policy and benefits manual, and we'll make some revisions and have those ready for approval at the next meeting. Second thing is, purchase fireproof storage cabinet. I looked into it, they're rather expensive, very expensive. So I'm gonna do a little more research on that and see what we really need for that. And the third item, just wanna approve the pay raises that we discussed during the budget meetings. I'd like to make a motion to approve the raise for the clerk, Dawn, from $15 to $16 an hour. Ken, maintenance from $13 to $13.39 an hour. And Kathy, also in maintenance, from $12 to $12.36 an hour.
I'll second it.
Those raises will go into effect the first pay period of 2000, the new year.
All right, a motion by Mr. Kohl, seconded by Ms. Marks to approve the pay raises, $15 to $16 for the clerk. Maintenance number 2, I believe it is, Ken, 13 to $13.39. Maintenance, I believe number 1, I think, is Kathy, from 12 to $12.36. Any discussion? Beginning new year. Those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Okay. That about it then, John? All right. It's time of the year, we gotta start thinking about caucus again. January, what is the date? The 12th is the date of the board meeting? 13th? January 13th, 7 o'clock, 6 o'clock, I'm sorry. January 13th, 6 PM, Village Caucus. And I'm up, Mr. Kohl, Ms. Marks, I believe, and Mr. Coenen, is that correct? All right. Okay. All right. That's all I have. I don't have any communications or anything. No, Dawn's been filing them before I get them, I think. That's good. Okay,
Fine.
clerk's report.
Okay, first off, I have 2 operator licenses for approval. One is for Alexander Coenen, and the other is for Keith Grosskopf. I say that right. Neither one of them has anything prohibiting the license being issued.
Make a motion to approve the operator license for Alexander Coenen and Keith Roscoe.
Second it.
Motion by Mr. Kiecker, seconded by Ms. Marks to approve operator licenses for Alexander Cohen and Keith Grosskopf. Any discussion? Those in favor? Opposed? Motion carried.
Secondly, every year we have the hardware maintenance agreement with Command Central. That's a maintenance agreement for our electronic voting machine. The fee would be $260 for this next year. Looks like it's been going up $5 a year for the last couple of years. But that covers the backup, annual preventative maintenance, parts, labor service, pre-lab, public test support, election day support, guide updates, and backup units if needed. So,
Make a motion to enter into agreement with Command Central for election hardware maintenance for a cost of $260.
I'll second that.
Motion by Mr. Kohl, second by Mr. Van Lyssel to enter into the contract with Command Central for the election hardware maintenance, $260 per year. Those in favor?
Aye.
All right, opposed? Motion carried.
In November, we have received our final state shared revenue payment for the year for $27,282.38. Next thing, I had received an email from Clifton Larson Allen for something new that they're kind of offering to their clients. I talked to Joy, who's the one who did our audit last year regarding this. Basically what it is, we have the ability to set up a portal with them, which is basically an online storage area, Bobbi probably knows, where when we have our audit times and that, we can transmit the information they need through that versus email. It'd be more secure than email because only they can access it and whoever we allow to access it can. It would also, we would have the ability to have our own folder in there if we wanted to. She said, you know, you can store things like permanent minutes, employee handbooks, things like that if we wanted to, that's out there. And then they would store our final audited statements, the letters, things like that, and keep it in line with the retention schedule that would stay in there. They're offering it at no cost to us. We just have an agreement that we would have to sign for that as well.
I make a motion that we sign the agreement with Clifton Larson Allen to use their online portal.
I'll second that.
Motion by Ms. Marks, seconded by Mr. Van Lyssel. To set up an agreement, or sign the agreement with the Larson Allen for their online portal. Sounds like a pretty good way to transfer things and store things.
Do you think we would have a need, I mean, would we put our own things? I didn't ask her, because if at some point we were to, not work with them anymore, I'm assuming the portal ceases, or, I don't know what happens at that point.
Well, I guess if we
Yeah.
sever relations, we'd have to get some kind of a electronic copy of what we have stored with us. It shouldn't be that hard to do, I
So
would
is it
think.
something we want to store our minutes and such on, or do we continue to do it the way we are, or?
If we could do it, I would use it. I mean, it's,
And she was looking, I said, what are the space capacities or anything, and she didn't really have that right there with her, but.
I would say we should use it for whatever, whatever they're
As much as we can.
offering, yeah.
And then she said there's different folders where you can have, if you don't want different people that, so I don't know if anyone on the board needs access to different things. We have to set up an administrator, who that would be and things like that, so.
And they set those up with, Shank had those 3-4 years ago already.
And they've had them for some clients, and
Yeah.
they're kind of offering it to more
Yeah.
now, is what she said, so.
Sounds good. Did we vote on that?
Didn't-
No, so just,
Just the motion, the second, and the discussion. Okay, I think Ms. Marks made the motion. Mr. Van Lyssel seconded the thing, the agreement. Those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Okay, and my final thing, and this is just, something that's been, I've talked to Dan on a little bit. Mary Robbins, the county clerk, has put a bug in my ear about taking on the SVRS administration for the village versus relying on them. There really isn't anyone else in the county who is doing their own, but I think from the sounds of things, there could be tasks that are gonna start being handed out. I've talked to a couple other clerks. Amherst is one that she does her own. They're a little bigger than us, but she said really it's not that big of a deal, from a small municipality standpoint. It would be entering all the new registrations, absentee voting, election day numbers, it's everything that gets entered after an election or before. There'd be a 2-day training in order to take it on. But we're paying $300 a year right now for the county to do it. I had asked questions about, because the fall election is a big one, and it's budget time and tax time and everything like that, if that's something hours-wise isn't gonna fit in. And Marcy and Amherst said, she has no problem with it there. Becky and Wyega I talked to a little bit, and they're bigger than us too. So I don't know if it's something.
I told Dawn if she feels comfortable trying it, a savings of $300 for the village, and if she can get it done, if she feels comfortable with it, why would we want to stop her?
yeah.
There would be a one-time expense on getting it going. They do have a little scanner that they use for scanning all the names in the poll book after each election, and that runs about $300, so that first year we wouldn't save anything.
But after that,
And it, when I added it all up, it's about 18 3/4 hours a year, when you take that $300, so most of them sounded like it wouldn't take that much time.
So it's probably not a 2-hour training every year, is it?
No, it's just the first initial.
Yeah.
And, after that, sometimes if they have updates, I know they are switching to a new platform. I asked the GAB on that too, are we better off waiting? She says, well, we never recommend waiting for upgrading. But, then they've offered webinars for a lot of their training now too, where you can do it from there.
I think you should go ahead and do it. We don't need a motion for that, do we?
There may be an agreement, I don't know if there'd be something, I don't have anything
You
now,
don't have
but we were
anything
gonna
now,
talk to
but-
Mary.
Yeah, well, see what formally needs to be done, and
Yeah.
if we need to pass a motion to sign an agreement, bring it forward next
Okay.
time.
And there is a check in the bills tonight for this 300, not knowing if we're doing it, so if we need to take that out, then.
Okay,
Okay.
so,
good, very good.
okay, that's all I have.
Anything else then? That's it, huh? Okay, very good. Is there any unfinished or old business from a previous meeting? All right, new business. We have already taken care of item number 1, Item number 2 is the approval of the village insurance premium coverage. There are a couple options that we have there. Did you all get a
No,
copy
just
of
you
this?
did, just you did.
All right.
Want me to make some copies quick, or just read through them?
Let's, well, go ahead, you read it.
Basically, there's 3 options. One is all-inclusive, one is without terrorism coverage, which we have waived in the past. One is without terrorism and data breach. And Jim Biddison said this data breach one is kind of a one that's coming up more now. And he's gonna leave it up to us whether to do that or not. Basically, the data breach one would come into play if somebody were to hack our computers, if there's any social security numbers, anything like that in it. I don't know if that's an issue with us starting to scan things. You know, there may be, you know, there's different things that have information on. Basically, the difference in prices, the total package is $12,262. Option 2 without terrorism coverage is $12,150. And option 3 without terrorism and data breach is $12,000 even.
How much difference is it?
Right.
Are you able to do the data breach without the terrorism?
Yep, that's the second option, just without terrorism.
Without terrorism,
Then it's
okay.
got the
Oh, I
data breach
see,
in it.
okay.
yeah.
Okay.
So what is a data breach actually paying for?
It will just cover us, the cost of us contacting somebody that their data has been breached. Doesn't cover the breach itself.
Or our liabilities
You know, as I said, it's just for us to contact them that it's happened.
Saves the cost of the stamp.
Pardon?
Well, so we pay them extra, what was it, $150?
$150 for the
For them to
data
notify?
breach. Just to notify, well, who would we have to notify? Well, employees, people who, people who have applied for liquor license. We might have some information on hand that probably doesn't need to be out there.
Do we
What
need them
police
to do-
department do you have, yeah, on your online one?
Yes.
Do you know anything about this?
Well, if someone was able to hack into our computers, yeah, they could access a
But
lot of data.
But this doesn't protect that, correct?
Well,
It only-
I would hope that our insurance covers any liability, any lawsuit.
Well, she just said no, right?
Yeah.
This is just to contact people?
This is just money to contact, I think, is the way I understood it.
Unless that's in addition to, it's no different than if we pay a different claim for any type of liability issue. I hope our insurance company is covering us.
General liability, we've got millions and millions of dollars in general liability, which you think would be, I don't know if that's an issue, or if that's a covered item or not.
From this, it says, what would I do, why would I want the policyholder to contact the breach team, and they help with, answering questions. So basically, if something happened, we must have to contact those people, and they would contact and start a claim with the insurance company.
I think it's worth $100 and whatever it is.
It's not a lot of money if something did happen.
Huh?
It's not a lot of money if something did
No.
happen, but
Our offering includes proactive and post-breach services, help minimize the occurrence.
So it sounds like the insurance company would take it over for us.
correct.
Yeah.
I would think that's why we're the hundreds of dollars.
Yeah.
So the 12,262 includes the breach and what else?
Terror, but we could knock that
No,
off.
we don't need the terror.
So we'd be the 12,150. Yeah.
The only thing on the terrorism, you gotta remember what the legal definition is on that. I mean, someone could, you know what I mean?
I wish I remember, but Jim Damon had said as far as
There's a lot
that
of stuff
coverage
you
too.
can class as terrorism, I'm sure.
Right.
I mean, it doesn't mean Al-Qaeda.
Correct. Correct.
Because we're not worried about them here, I don't think, but it could be something else.
I don't know if it's different in a public place, but my place in Appleton, they told me to not worry about that anymore. They told it off, told me to get rid of it. But I don't know if a public place is different.
See, Jim Damon last year had said he didn't have a problem taking it off.
Yeah.
I don't know.
That's what they told me to. I said, "You don't need it anymore."
Well, if the premium is only $44, you can bet that they aren't paying, they're not covering you for
Yeah.
billions of dollars or anything like that, so. I think we've rejected it in the past, I think we could reject it again, be my personal opinion anyway.
I'll make a motion to go with Plan B, $12,150.
I'll second it.
All right, motion by Mr. Falke, seconded by Mr. Kohl to enter into option number 2, or Plan B, on the insurance at a rate of, with the premium being $12,150. Any further discussion? Those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carried.
And we do have to pay that by the end of the year, so that'll be.
We have approved paying the contract, so we will pay it at the end of the year bill, so. Okay. All right, that takes care of the new business. Any other new business? Any communications? I didn't get anything this month. All right. Another item, what we've done in the last number of years is to take any unused police budget and roll it over into the next year's budget, and I believe we designated it to go toward the purchase of a squad. Is that correct, Gene? Is that the right way to say it?
Yes.
Okay, and I am anticipating that there should be some unused budget money, and so I would entertain a motion to roll that money over into the 2015 budget and to earmark it for purchase of a new squad when necessary.
I'll make a motion to carry over the unused police budget for a new squad car when needed.
I'll second that.
Motion by Mr. Falke, second by Mr. Van Lyssel to approve the rollover of the unused police budget to be designated as for a squad car.
Okay, so as to make your budget balance, do you roll it over as, you'd have to roll it over as income and then as an expense? I don't know.
It's not in this, we didn't
It's-
put it in.
I'm
there.
just trying,
It's just the cash
you
flow,
know, cash flow wise, because you can't take it and just put it down in your, like, where would you put it, in the capital outlay?
Well, I think it's
But
just
then,
gonna
but
be
then your budget is gonna be over by that amount.
Well, I think what we're doing is just saying that it's gonna go into the village coffers anyway. And what we're doing basically is saying that money is gonna be earmarked for a squad.
Earmark. So it really doesn't go into the budget, but it stays in our,
Yeah, that was probably.
in
not
our
the-
general fund.
Probably to say it,
Earmark the
put it
money.
into the budget, the word budget probably should not have been used.
But so whatever his budget, his budget was 85,000 and you spent 80,000, so we should have $5,000 left over, and that is in our general fund earmarked for, so you're just gonna have to keep track of it on a ledger page or something like that. Because it doesn't actually go into the
And I've got
budget.
that from last year.
Yeah, okay, fine.
So then when the squad is purchased, that year, I'm gonna budget it in
Well,
capital outlay then, but then your income is already there, so do we just expense it? when
We
the
put it
time
then.
comes?
Well, did the auditor say you had to have it in your minutes to do that or something?
Yeah, to carry it over, I think we have to.
Right.
But when the time comes, we must just put it on the expense, but not actually have it budgeted.
Or
Because
we-
the cash is up, because you don't have income to offset it that year.
We could take it out of savings, or the tax account, or the savings account.
I'm saying on the budget
We'll-
that
we'll-
year.
We would take,
Yeah.
if we're gonna budget it, we'd have to take it out and put it as an income item out of a, like you said, out of the savings account. So, I suppose you like to worry about it then.
Well, I think that's what we've done before.
Yeah, I think
which
that's
is-
how you do it. Okay. Sounds good.
I think you did it, see if we could do that with the park budget, or we need new equipment and stuff. We mark it somehow, if they don't use it all up.
Sometimes you're just gonna need the money for something else.
Yeah.
We need a vote on
So,
that one, yeah.
I make a motion that we carry over the unused,
We got the motion second.
do we have a motion?
Just need to approve it.
Oh,
All
okay.
right, those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carried.
Oh, Jim, Steve,
We're on.
you guys making your own meeting over there?
We're not accountants, so it was real easy for us. You were the one that dissected it all.
Okay, we're ready now.
All right, then we have a few bills to pay.
I make a motion that we pay all of the end of the year bills,
We got the regular bills too.
Regular ones also.
and regular ones also,
The,
for November.
Where's that $300 one?
846. Well, fourth.
Number 846, Falke County, we're gonna delete that one and void that one.
What's this bill about, county sheriffs for the DPMS rifles for $1,300? What's all that about?
What was it?
I purchased
Rifles?
patrol rifles. They were $300 some a piece. The county upgraded their rifles. So it replaces the shotgun in squad
Oh,
cars.
okay.
So I figured if you had to buy a new part, to utilize the other one. So I'm carrying one and then using the other ones for parts.
Using rifles now instead of shotguns?
Correct.
Okay.
Silver.
Please don't use them. All right, so we have a motion to approve the minutes with the exception of number 846, I believe. Is that right, Rick?
Right.
The regular bills as we have on the list here, and also the end of the year bills that we have to pay as usual. All right, so we have the motion by Mr. Koenen. Did we get a second for that?
I'll second.
Second by Mr. Falke. Any discussion? Those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. If there is no other business to come before this board, I would recommend, accept the motion for adjournment.
Make motion to adjourn.
Motion by Ms. Mark, seconded by Mr. Coenen. All in favor? Aye. We are adjourned. Thank you, ladies.